Thank you, Professor Free, for that fascinating talk. As the Dean of Hobart College, I'm proud to introduce the Hobart student speaker. Each spring semester, students elect one rising junior from each of the colleges to serve as a non-voting member of the Board of Trustees for one academic year. In their senior year, student trustees become voting members of the board. This year, that Hobart student is Mathieu, whom I have had the pleasure of knowing since his first year on campus. A senior from Hadley, Massachusetts, Greg is an anthropology major with a minor in the study of the sacred in cross-cultural perspective. An Eagle Scout, he's the captain of the cross-country team, a leadership advisor on the board of the Centennial Center for Leadership, a student court justice, and the presidents of both Kappa Sigma and the Interfraternity Council. Mathieu.
Thank you, Dean Baer, President Gearin, and the entire HWS community. Okay, first, I'd like to take a quick survey, if you don't mind, President Gearin. How many of you are sitting at your very first convocation? If your hand is still in the air, or how many of you have been placed in a course you have never chosen for yourself? If your hand is still in the air, congratulations. You're about to experience what it means to have your life transformed by Hobart and William Smith colleges. When I came to the colleges 3 years ago, I had every intention of becoming a biology major. I was taking Introduction to Biology, I was doing the lab time, I was on the path that I had chosen, and I was doing all right. When I found out there was a scheduling conflict between my chem lab and that semester's cross-country practice, I asked my advisor, Professor Susan Henking, to put me in a random class. It didn't matter which one. Later that week, I was sitting in Introduction to Intercultural Communications, an anthropology class. I was thrown into a world of modern and ancient culture I had never known or considered. It was enthralling. I found myself working harder for that class than I'd ever worked before. I was profoundly interested in this subject that I'd never considered before, and then it hit me. I had found something I had been missing while poring over my biology notes: passion. This spring, I'll proudly walk across the steps of Cox Hall to shake President Gearin's hand and accept my degree in anthropology. This is what it means to have a Hobart and William Smith education. Whether your passion is for cultural anthropology, or biology, or community service, here at the colleges, that wonderful hunger for education is nurtured. If you're able to take advantage of all that is offered through places like the Center for Community Engagement and Service Learning, or the Centennial Center for Leadership, will point you to the intersection of inspiration and passion. In the next few weeks, you will meet professors and members of campus who are passionate about what they do and the students they meet. Professor Christopher Neer was one such professor in my time at the colleges. Before I took environment and culture within my junior year, I didn't realize how important the ethical struggles of expansion and development were to me. His approach to every class was one of deep interest and electric curiosity. Seek out professors like Neer. Find a club on campus that makes you stop what you are doing to reconsider your life and how your life affects others. Have your picture taken with the I'm Outstanding campaign and make a stand for equality. Become political. Last fall, HWS Votes registered more people on campus through the organization Turbo Vote than any other small campus in the country. And I'm sure there are eco reps in the audience who would be more than happy to help you recycle your program once convocation is over. Cultural anthropology has taught me that every action we take can have a positive or negative influence on others. Selfish actions can yield devastating results in cases like global warming or imperialism. But selfless actions can create unity and community. I urge you to become a force for positive change. Ultimately, I think the greatest lesson I've taken from my time at the colleges is, it's not what you get from the colleges that is important, it's what you give. From Professor Neer to Professor Henking, To all the students who have given their time and energies to cleaning the lakefront and registering students to vote, I learned that passion is not selfish, it is to be shared. And the colleges share what they have in spades. So as you begin your first week of classes, or maybe your final year here, ask yourself, how are you sharing yourself and your passions? And maybe take an anthropology class too. Thank you.
As the Dean of William Smith College, it is my honor to introduce Abby Evans, the William Smith Student Trustee. Like Greg, Abby is a voting member of the Board of Trustees. She is a double major in anthropology and Africana studies. She studied abroad in South Africa. She completed several worthy and stimulating internships in Washington, D.C. She is a member of Koshari. That's a dancing group for those of you who are new. And this summer, she was one of the 2 coordinators of our wildly successful orientation. Ladies and gentlemen, Abby Evans.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the classes of 2017. Dean McNally, President Guerin, members of the Hobart and William Smith community, it is an honor to speak here at Convocation and to share in the excitement of a new year on campus with you all. This past weekend, we welcomed some of the brightest and most open-hearted individuals to the classes of 2017 and as transfer and exchange students to these colleges. It was a weekend only made possible by the love and gratitude that so many of us share for this wonderful place. When I entered William Smith just 3 short years ago, I felt confident in where I was coming from and where I could always return to. I trusted in a deep connection with my family and assumed that I would always be able to go home. During my orientation weekend, I had one of those lanyards around my neck, just like the ones all of the incoming students had to wear this past weekend. Name, class year, hometown. Abby Evans, class of 2014, Glenarm, Maryland, no worries. However, many of my friends, peers, and mentors know that these days, I tend to shy away from answering the question, where are you from? During the spring of my first year here at William Smith, I faced a life moment that truly shook who I was. I lost confidence in the stability of my family and the presence of a home that I could always return to. I became lost, for lack of better words. This is an incredible place to find yourself feeling lost. Seriously. This community of open-minded, compassionate, and hardworking people continues to open doors wherever a student, faculty, and staff or community member may need one. For me, I found a home in the Office of Admissions, first as an event helper, then a tour guide, and now as a senior interviewer. I even have a Mom Marilyn and a crazy Aunt Sue in the office. I found a home in the anthropology department with amazing faculty who believed in me enough to nominate me as a teaching fellow. A department that challenged me and helped me create an independent project that resulted in a fellowship from the Centennial Center for Leadership. I found a home in the community service house where I worked alongside my peers for 3 semesters, giving back to this amazing city. A home in the dance department and within Koshari, where I felt loved, challenged, and supported by the faculty and my peers through movement. And lastly, a home here in Geneva, where I was lucky enough to spend my summer designing this year's orientation alongside Weston Traub, Jeff Van Loan, Kristen Tovey, and many others who truly love this place. Home is a place where you find comfort, stability, acceptance, and love. A space to nurture you as you search for your own identity and a place of belonging. But it is also a place where you are challenged to imagine all that you can become and all the feats that you can accomplish. If you ever find yourself having a hard time believing in what you can do, find someone who does. I guarantee you there are at least a dozen waiting for you. This is an incredible place to feel lost because it is so easy to find a home. If and when you experience your own life moments that feel they might throw you off course, know that your colleges have wonderful resources to support you. There are wise mentors and teachers, compassionate leaders, and really strong students and peers, all here and available to you. So, whether you're an incoming student or one of my classmates about to embark on your final year here, I challenge you to not only find those moments and places where you feel most at home, but to give back to them. Help this become a home for future students, faculty, staff, and community members. I hope you strive not to take this place for granted, but instead embrace each thing it has to offer and take full advantage of it. You can do and be extraordinary here. As I prepare to graduate, I can say without hesitation that this is where I will forever call home. Abby Evans, class of 2014, Hobart and William Smith, Geneva, New York. Thank you and welcome home.
Wow. Thank you, Greg and Abby, for your thoughtful words and your important leadership on campus.